Hey guys, what's going on? This is Sergeant Merrill, and today I'm finally going to be hitting up the free-to-play game, World of Tanks. America. Man, I don't know what it is about tanks that just brings out the little boy in me. You know, it just goes right back to my childhood when I got all the little army dudes laid across the floor and I got my tank and I'm like, pew, 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 pew. One of the first games that I ever played was on the Atari, the tank game. I don't remember what it was called. That's the one. Props to the people who remember that game. You remember that holding the little Atari joystick and you're like, oh god damn it, Billy! And you're close enough to where if he kept kicking your ass you could smack him in the face? Well, look at us now. Fast forward a few decades later and we have World of Tanks, baby. And this is another one of those games that I'm kicking myself in the ass for not playing it sooner. You know, I understand myself. You know, I have responsibilities. I have 2 kids. I have a full-time job. I go to school full-time. And then it's summertime, so, you know, we're going on little vacations and stuff. But I can definitely tell you there are some other games I wish I didn't play to put more time into this one. Aliens, Clone, and Marines. I apologize. That was uncalled for. It's just that game brings out the flatulence in me. I don't understand why. This game, though, is the complete opposite, man. This keeps the flatulence in. My butt's puckered the whole time because I'm having such a great time. And it's exciting in a way that no tank game has really captured before. And I'm talking about this game like it was just released yesterday. And it certainly wasn't. It was released last year. And this is one of those games that I have been following since its release. Just really haven't had the time to jump into it. And there are a couple things that this company is doing that I really enjoy. Wargaming is the company behind this game. And when they released their free-to-play model, not the one that they originally started with, the one that they just made this letter about a couple weeks ago saying, you know, we're going to change the way free-to-play games operate. Like, no more is there going to be any more pay-to-win system going on at all. They went back to their entire game. They took feedback from the community, and they say, you know what? We could monetize a lot more, but we're going to bring back monetization and focus more on you know, making it so that if you pay, it's not necessarily to gain an advantage against the people that aren't paying, which is what these free-to-play games need to be about. And when I saw that letter and I read it, it made me very happy to see a company realize it. You know, it's hard for a company to not do the whole pay-to-win thing because it's so effective, because you just make so much money off of it. If you're playing this game and you love it, and then you get up to like the tier 5 or tier 6 tanks or whatever, and you have to pay $5 to get a weapon that's slightly better, chances are, after that much time invested in the game, you're going to do it. So the trick with these free-to-play games is to make them so much fun right out of the gate and so enjoyable to just sit down and play that people want to give you their money. And in exchange, you give them some type of customized experience. Not an experience that makes them better at the game, like a better weapon that's going to beat the people that aren't paying, but something that's going to make them feel like they can enjoy the game just a little bit more. You know, a camo of some sort, an emblem of some sort. You know, you get to level up maybe just a little bit faster. And that's the balance that free-to-play games are slowly coming to. And this is one of those games that is leading the way into the free-to-play model that's so successful these days. And another thing that's exciting with this particular game is that it's coming to Xbox 360. It's coming into the console demographic, which has been so untapped for the most part. You got Blacklight Retribution, but for the most part, with free-to-play games, they're not available on consoles. And I feel bad about that because I love a lot of the free-to-play games that are out there right now. PlanetSide 2 being one of them. War Thunder being another one. They're great games. And for the most part, they're only available on the PC. And this is going to prove that it's not something that has to be just on the PC. It can be on the console too. Console players can enjoy free-to-play games too. And that's exciting. And it may be getting a little bit off topic. I know I want to talk a little bit more about the actual game. But it's exciting because for a lot of people, they can only afford 1, 2, maybe 3 games a year. Either because they simply can't afford it or that's just the budget that they have for that particular hobby. And when you have a free-to-play game, it really allows you to not make a mistake. I mean, a lot of us are okay with paying $60 for a game that turns out to be awesome. It's worth the investment. I mean, you'll put hours into that game, and that's worth the $60. But when you start looking at, you know, collector's editions and all this other stuff, and you turns out that you made a mistake, and that it's not an awesome game, and that you feel like you got tricked in a certain way, and then you got to go back to GameStop and only get $20 for your $60 investment, it's frustrating. But with a free-to-play game, it kind of keeps the developers honest. You're not going to put money into a shitty game. So the free-to-play aspect is awesome with that concept, and for the people that can't afford games at all, at least they're still playing your game, keeping the servers full, and keeping the game relevant. So is the free-to-play model the future of gaming? I don't know. I hope in some capacity that it is. But for now, we're enjoying some really great titles that are using this model, and World of Tanks is certainly one of them. I love the simplicity combined with complexity. It's that sounds like a stupid statement, but it's really what I mean. I mean, in its most basic form, World of Tanks is a very simple game. I mean, you drive around, you shoot at other tanks, you try and capture their particular base, and that's it. But it has this underlying level of complexity of upgrades and, you know, certain things that can happen in your tank. Your tracks could become disabled, your turret could not turn correctly. Like you see here, I had to repair on the fly so I could turn my turret correctly. I mean, things like that happen underneath, so that you can really get into this game. Start digging into the meta game of World of Tanks. Or if you're not one of those people and you just like to play casually, you can just jump in and shoot some shit. And I want you guys to pay attention to this engagement that I'm in right now. This guy's running away, and I know at some point he's going to stop and turn around and try and catch me. But I'm hoping because of the speed of my tank, I'm going to be able to avoid that first round and get the final round on him that I need, considering that my tank is in a little bit better shape than his. So let's see what happens. I know his setup. Come around the corner. Boom. He misses. Just like I needed. I make my shot. That was a beautiful engagement. I really enjoyed that. Even though I did put myself in an oh shit moment, and I had to pull behind some cover because I didn't realize that tank was actually at my flank. But another thing that I really enjoy about World of Tanks is how clean it is. Their interface is extremely clean, and you can tell that it comes from experience because the game has been out for a while. And when you're navigating through the different options that you have, both in the garage and in the game, you notice how clean and easy to understand it is. And I don't know why, but I take a huge amount of appreciation for that, because with a lot of these free-to-play games, they get really complicated. PlanetSide suffered from that, and they've done a lot to clean up the interface and the map and how to understand what's going on. And I didn't have any of that issue with World of Tanks. It was, like I said, very simple when you jump in, and it could get really as complex as you want it to be. Now, my last point and what I really enjoy about this game is the historical aspect of it, which they stay pretty true to. And it's not, you know, I'm not an expert. Tanks is something that I've never really been into, like, from a historical aspect. You know, I love big machines that blow shit up, but I couldn't really tell you one from the other from, like, a historical data standpoint. But being immersed in the environment that World of Tanks puts you in, and in the way that they do, it feels authentic, and it gets you interested, especially in the same way that War Thunder got me interested in the warplanes from, you know, the World Wars. I wanted to know more about it. I wanted to know more about the American warplanes and the British warplanes, and, you know, it's cool to me. And this offers that same aspect, just with tanks. And I really enjoy that. And I think other people will enjoy that too. So if you're interested in this period of history, or just in tanks in general, man, I have no idea why you're not playing this game already. So if you've liked anything that you've heard in this video, this does come with my highest recommendation for a video game. There's no reason not to play it, and I've already explained the reasons why. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to check out the game, there's a link in the description, or the beta for the Xbox 360 version starts this weekend from what I hear, so I'm sure on their website, when you click on the link, you can find out more about that. Otherwise, really hope you enjoyed this video and my thoughts on it, but that's all I have. This is Sergeant Merrill, out here.